Genting Highlands. This happened a few years ago when I took up a part-time job as a waiter at Genting Highland. As a waiter, I needed to work in shifts, sometimes at day and sometimes at night. Back then, I was allocated at Ria apartment with my cousin, who was working with me too. We shared a big room with other workers, so basically, it was a workers' hostel. Genting is an infamous haunted place in Malaysia where many people went there for gambling, lost a huge amount of money and committed suicide. Many sightings have been reported throughout Genting, and therefore, it is very important to pray to the deities at the temple in Genting or get yourself a Buddha amulet for protection. The place I was staying at, Ria apartment, is a very dirty place. There were cases where people saw children running in the corridors, children laughed and heard people playing mahjong. When I first moved into the apartment with my cousin, we noticed something peculiar. Almost each door was guarded by an amulet, the yellow one that we always see in Hong Kong ghost movies. We knew something was spooky at the very apartment we were going to stay at, but we did not mention anything. Anyhow, we believed that we will be left unharmed, for we did no wrong. We were merely staying temporary. Our stay there was normal, nothing unusual, and we did not see anything eerie, although the room we were staying in was not guarded by an amulet. Both of us were wearing Buddha amulets for protection. I almost forgot about the lurking of the unseens until one morning. That morning, I had to check in for work at 8 a.m. so as usual, I woke up at 6 and got myself ready for work. When I was ready, it was only 7 a.m. and I didn't want to go to work that early, so I sat on the floor, waiting for the time to pass. My room door was wide open, and from where I sat, I could see the washroom's door at the far end and kitchen entrance, which was just opposite to my room. When I was daydreaming by looking at the lamps in the kitchen, my room was pitch dark, everyone else was sleeping. There was a sudden movement on my left and I saw a man, in his 30s, walking out of my room. At that moment, I thought it was one of my roommates and I didn't see his face. He was back facing me, walking towards the kitchen. I thought to myself that he was going to the kitchen to brush his teeth. A moment later, I noticed that the toilet was empty and began thinking, why didn't he use the toilet? I kept looking at the kitchen entrance and expecting him to come out so I could say hello. I never did a formal introduction with others. After about 10 minutes, he had not come out and I couldn't hear tap water running in the kitchen. Out of curiosity, I went to check him out in the kitchen, but to my surprise, he was not in the kitchen. There was another door at the kitchen which led to the outside, but it was locked from the inside, so there was no way he could have exited the kitchen via that door, and I was staring at the kitchen in trance all the time. I made my move to the toilet and still didn't find anyone. That instance, I knew I saw something. I couldn't explain his disappearance except that he is a ghost. I hurried to take my belongings and wore my shoes to the workplace. I still remember how scary it was to wait for the lift alone afterwards. I was afraid that he might turn up and say hello to me. However, I was lucky because I didn't see him face to face, or else I might be running a high fever the next day.